talk and finished. And the next one comes, big talk, finished. I remember there was even a devotee-made movie collected from nature movies, some collage. It showed a pond with frogs sitting inside. And they were all... The frogs can get very loud. And they have this big blowing. And then snaking. When the snakes cannot see, they cannot hear much either, but they respond to movement, like very close, very close. So the snake dove into the water between the frogs, and the frogs were going blop, blop, blop. Nobody moved. They were all quiet. And the snake was just swimming between them. They were all just the eyes sticking out of the water. Then one frog couldn't take it, and he was going blah 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 blah. Immediately the snake took him, responding immediately to the movement. So these preachers in the material world, they are like that. Welcome, gone. Another one, right? Gone. And then few words are remembered. Sometimes not bad ideas actually. But the speaker is gone. And the mission too. And sometimes even a whole batch of disciples goes behind. Finished. Over. It's over. So permanent contribution to do something worthwhile in this life means to do something for Krishna now. And Krishna is so encouraging. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, even a little attempt on this path is eternal benefit. It will never go in vain. It's eternally registered. He gave the flower here. He contributed somebody here. He did a little service there. Or as mentioned here, he was chanting Hare Krishna even once. Aha! That's recorded. That he cannot act upon the benefits derived from the holy name, that's another thing. Therefore we should know that the chanting is not a routine, it's not a mechanical thing. It's not something you do just like, oh, da, 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 da. I remember devotees always chanting, at least in my days. You know, you have this different kind of chanters. Chanting in itself, it's hilarious what we chant there. You know, when you see the devotees, you know. We had one devotee even, oh boy, when he started to chant, nobody could stay in the temple. Nobody could chant with him, he was so unfortunate. In Germany. We had one devotee who couldn't even chant the holy name, the whole mantra. He was going, Hare, Hare, Hare. But he was very serious, listening, Hare. In those days, you know, if an outsider or a karmic could come and visit the temple, and he heard, every day was reading that the Hare Krishna, the chanting is destroying your brain, you know, it's brainwashing. You know, all this propaganda was going on, and then he saw this person there, Hare! He was thinking, oh no, that's how you become when you chant Hare Krishna. No, that's not how you become, he was like that. And there are various chanting, completely ignoring that actually we are chanting somebody's name. Let's forget now Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's just somebody's name. Now you have a name, I have a name. Just imagine somebody would chant your name like this. You know, yeah? Like, you know, like Hare Indre. Hare 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 Hare. And you would go, what are you doing? And he would say, well, I'm glorifying your name, you know. I'm worshipping you. Indre, Indre, Indre. It's actually not worship, it's mockery. It's insulting. And you would think, what is he doing? Why, is this worship? Now just imagine how tolerant the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. He's listening to that garbage we are chanting every day and going, it's nice. My devotees are glorifying my holy name. You have to be very, very tolerant and very loving. Really loving. It's like a child, you know. A child sometimes goes, Mama, Papa, Goo Goo Gaga. You know, and it's completely, if a grown-up person will speak to you like this, you will get really insulted. But because it's a child, you go, oh, very nice. What did you say? You go, woo, woo, woo. It's completely idiotic. But but it's kind of coming from a child, so it's like you think, oh, this is nice. So this is actually how Krishna perceives us. Oh, my children came, they surrendered to me, and they chant, Hare, Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare. It's called Bomba Japa, diving Bomba, It's amazing when a devotee falls asleep and he chants and you try to wake him up, at least in my days, there was immediately a reaction, Don't touch me! Prabhu, you are sleeping. I'm not sleeping, I'm meditating. That was like, it was very dangerous to wake somebody up. So young passionate boys. So, so this is how merciful Krishna is. And here Bhagavatam says, when you chant even once, the sun didn't come up yet. You are not illuminated by knowledge, but the reaction are already dissipated. It's already on removal. So we are not fully aware in what a beneficial process we are engaged. Because for that, we would have to see the impact of the reactions for our previous and present activities. If you would see that, look into the future, and these are reactions which are waiting for us, what we have done, then we would change much better. For sure. And much more seriously. But we think, where reaction what? I don't see any reaction. Wow. No, it's all exactly recorded. It's all exactly accounted for. And we will face the results of our activities, one way or another. But again, there is no need to panic. The alternative is here. Simply chanting of the holy name. At least on the purifying level. That's the second stage. The unpurified level you can chant for a long time and you will not see really much result if it's done with offenses. But on the purifying stage, therefore Prabhupada said when he was asked, what is the result of chanting? Really? Prabhupada said, more chanting. That means you become more and more attached to the chanting process. So much that actually you cannot give it up. So much, so it becomes like a absolute, you could call it automatic response, automatic life. When devotee is threatened, Hare Krishna. When he is in trouble, Hare Krishna. Everything is, devotees respond like this. It's not like karmis. Something happens and they go, oh no, and they still sometimes they go, oh God. Oh, what do they know about God? Nothing. It's just like a saying. It's parrot-like. You can teach a parrot all of the same thing. But devotee, he knows whatever happens is not a chance, it's happening. So he goes, while stumbling, describing here. While hungry, I don't know, because devotees are never hungry. That's hunger is not a problem for devotees. We are rather always the opposite problems. In Hare Krishna movement, you rather get fat. You never get hungry, really much. If you are hungry, it's a joke because you don't know what hunger is. After 3 days not eating, you can know probably what hunger is. It drives you insane. People in such situations, they end up eating their own shoes. It's not normally something eatable. You don't look at your shoes and go, oh, what a nice lunch. No. But when you are hungry, everything becomes eatable suddenly. Even the other living entities, even other humans end up looking eatable. Because hunger is such a force. It's like lust, hunger, greed. There's such a forceful mechanism there. So even there, when you chant Hare Krishna, one will be relieved. One will be excused, but not forever. It's not a game. Okay, here I chant, here I do some nonsense. Here I chant, here I do some nonsense. But then there is an even more powerful purifying factor as the holy name. And that's the merciful purifier. Who can pick up a person who never chanted or stopped chanting and bring it back to the path of devotional service and to the chanting. So above all this, surrender to a spiritual master. That's the ultimate principle, which saves us from all the offenses even we commit while preaching, while chanting Hare Krishna. So this is something one should understand. We are not surviving on the power of our own chanting. Yeah, today I chant 60 rounds. Look how pure I will be. No. As one of my good brothers honestly stated while chanting on Govardhan, in a holy Dham, 60 rounds he decided to chant. And he can do that. He's known for his ecstatic chanting. And he was chanting 60 rounds, and then he was finished with the 60 rounds. He told me, I got up, and you know who I remembered? The singing of Mick Jagger from Rolling Stones, from the last rock concert I participated before I joined this movement, while being sitting on Govardhan. And then I just laughed. I just laughed. Simply on this mind, and run down Govardhan completely happy, thinking, what an idiotic thing I have sitting there. I remember one of my godbrothers when Manidhara Prabhu distributing immense amount of books, all day working hard, being completely ecstatic in the evening, and he came laughing, but this laughter was a little bit strange. It was not the normal ecstatic laughter that I was used to always, because he was always in ecstasy. He said, you know, I just distributed 150 books. And you know who I remembered now? My grandmother. That's what the mind can do to you. In the midst of the ecstasy. See, what is the grandmother doing here? The mind. But this one devotee came running and excited to Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, I cannot believe it. I just meditated. I thought about this. How to slap you. You know, how to hit you. Wow! And Prabhupada just smiled, seeing the despair of the devotee. He said, that's completely okay. This is just the mind. And he just kept on, you know, and the devotee was so happy. Hey, it's just the mind. Great, Hare Krishna. So one has to learn how to ignore that thing. It's like a broken mechanism which just goes, hello, 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 haha, while you are chanting. You know, it just goes, ooh, you know, so the mind is just a madman. Because it was misused for lifetimes, so many lifetimes we misused this mind. So what do you think what you have there? But, as one chants, the mind has one big advantage. It's no brain. It's just a mechanism. There's no intelligence. Intelligence is something else. Mind is just so when you don't listen to it, you go, okay, you do your blah blah blah, and I'm chanting. Then the mind goes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Why not? And you do it, that's called sadhana, over and over again. And the mind starts to also chant, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, yeah, why not? Yeah. Sometimes some grandmother comes in and says, anyway, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So what? It's just a question of training. When you do it the whole life, then the mind will be more devotionally inclined. He will be trained, simply. Because he's simply remembering, how was it when I was on this festival? How was it when I saw this devotee? How was it when I saw the deepest like that? How was it? And suddenly the mind is in it. It's just a question of exposing him, the senses and the mind, to a constant rain of Krishna consciousness. And then gradually, yes, one becomes purified and the quality of chanting improves. You know, the motivation, which is defining the quality, you know, yeah, that improves. And hopefully one day, you know, we are just remembering Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget him. That's the ultimate principle. And hopefully one day we will derive the real benefit from the holy name. And that's, we will really be attached to Krishna. That's a very, very high goal, but we are working on it. Yeah. And it's ultimately, finally defined by His mercy, if He will open our heart and sit in it. This one devotee asked Prabhupada, Krishna is in everybody's heart. Obviously nobody knows. Prabhupada said, yes. He said, Prabhupada, is spiritual master also in the heart of a disciple? Prabhupada said, yes. And then the devotee said, Prabhupada, walking next to Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, are you also in my heart? He saw it really physically, he figured this out. How can you be in my heart when he's walking next to me? Very simple thinking. Spiritual platform is no problem, but materially spoken, it's very difficult to accommodate the idea. So he said, Prabhupada, you are also in my heart? Prabhupada stopped. He looked in his eyes and he said, if you let me in. So this is the principle. It's all here, served to us, but do we really want it? That's the part when Krishna never gets involved. That's your choice. You want it. Anytime, no, you don't want it, or you want it very little, just a little Hindu spice. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. I'm also chanting, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. I'm also Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Speaking of the pound, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, lots of money making, good money, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. This Krishna goes, okay, then you will have a little Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, but it's not going to be love of Godhead, for sure not. So what do you want? That's the essential question we are facing every day. What do you want? You give, Krishna says, as you surrender unto me, I reveal myself to you. You surrender, Krishna comes. Little surrender, little coming. No surrender, no coming. Why should I come? If you are not invited, usually we have the tendency, we don't go to places we are not invited. So, so at least decent beings don't do that. So, if your Krishna is not invited, he will not come. So it's up to us to make the decision. Krishna will never interfere with that, because it's our mind, individual freedom. Please, some comments or questions?
What is the definition of how much you surrender? Because I hear this, you surrender more.
Judged by the spiritual master.
Okay, he decides that.
Therefore, the essential question, Prabhupada said, I ask my spiritual master only one question: how can I serve you? Not how can I become ecstatic, not how much advancement I can make here. No, how can I serve you? And according to the pleasure of the spiritual master, Prabhupada said, you will feel it. You will just feel very satisfied. And all this, I want this. We hear it all the time. If you would put an amplification on every devotee's mind, it will be a pretty howling sound coming out. Some device you just put in and go, oh. We always something is missing. It's not even a happy sound. Mind doesn't make you happy. It seems so if you are intoxicated. But otherwise, mind doesn't make you happy. The mind is always a depressing thing. So you will feel it when you do something really legislative. You will just become happy. In your case, I can give you personal. When the devotees from Norway arrived who saw you joining, I'm happy I didn't saw you joining. You must have been looking not very stabilized. So this devotee is visiting from Norway, and you came out, from the kitchen. Hey, where's the book? I have to carry it in. And my kitchen, my service. He asked him, what did you do with it? He couldn't recognize it. You don't see it because you are in the process. What have you done with him? There was immediately a wave of affection coming to you. Because I tell you quite frankly, every bhakta joining, it's a little bit like getting children. It's not a common thing. How many people do you see joining every day? And hello, and can I join also? No. In the West, in India it's a little bit different. In India they go wait in a line there. You are number 2055. You know, poor number, wait. Here, we are like, oh, you know, Bhakta Kuku came, you know, yeah. And there's another Bhakta waiting, he wants to join. Maybe, when we are very nice. Oh, we have to be very nice, be careful. When we are very nice, and we give him lots of sweets, and we go, maybe you would consider to join too? And he goes, cuckoo, cuckoo. And you go, well, you know, not cuckoo, Hare Krishna we do here. You know? You know, this is the Western preaching. Prabhupada said, you have to spend gallons of blood, shed gallons of blood to one person joining. That's the Western mentality. So it's, but when somebody joins, it's special. Of course it's special. And it's always a great pain when somebody leaves. But what can you do? There's a minor freedom. Everybody can come and go anytime. Huh?
I also remember Prabhupada said something about it's like training a lion or something like that.
You mean the mind?
No, when you coming in, it's like training a lion. You have to use whips sometimes.
Well, you know, lions are very powerful. Nowadays we don't have any lions joining.
Yeah, but
We have,
that's what I heard you said.
We have, there's no animal I could use as an example what is joining today. Maybe rainworm, I don't know. Something very underground, something very, very weak. So the analogy of the lion is, yeah, I am coming from a generation of terroristic lions, yeah. That was a problem. Yeah, I'm coming from a generation which was thinking Hare Krishna is the best way to pay back to the society for that. Revolution! I remember one Bhakta. Bhakta meant those days 1 day, 2 days, you were out on Sankirtan. And they put this boy in my car. And I was going, who's this? A little boy. And he was like, with gleaming eyes. And he was like, you know, what are you doing here? Selling books like this? That's interesting. And he was almost like in a mood. Can you also beat people in the books? That's also nice. You know, no beating, just cool, German police, very cool. And true enough, the first day we went on Sankirtan, we were immediately cashed in by the police. They caught us and they put us in a police station on the ground floor. I remember still that scene. And then it was a classical procedure, the typewriter comes up, there was no computers those days. And then the sheet, you know, we have to fill in, illicit collection, you know, here and there, and they want us to sign the paper, which we were informed by our lawyer, we are not obliged to sign that paper. You can fill it in, I have to give you my ID card, but I'm not going to sign it. So that was always a big surprise to them that we were so informed. And then, of course, we are collecting money. Where's the collection? And we all had this Lakshmi bags here hanging around the neck, where we put the money. And that's what the police, of course, very much liked. They just collected all the Lakshmi bags and confiscated the money. So the policeman put the typewriter on, and he realized he's out of paper. So he went in the next room, and he collected the whole Sankirtan party, 4 of us. But there was 5, and that was the new Bhakta. And he was the only one who wasn't caught. So we were all, you know, okay. And we were going, oh, how will you hide this Lakshmi bag? You know, you cannot, you're in a police station. And then, and then the policeman came, you know, and then you realize no paper. Then he went in the next room, the same moment. Somebody knocked from the street on a window, it was on the ground floor. And I looked out the window, our new Bhakta. He said, give me the money, give me the money. And we immediately took over the Lakshmi bags and threw them out of the window. Next second, the policeman came in and he said, okay, where's the money? And we said, I have no money. And he said, this is ridiculous. And they searched us completely, you know, and this was not 1 penny. So he was so frustrated, he threw us out. He said, get out! We were going, oh, thank you for the instruction. We will get out. So we all went out. I went around the corner, heading for the car. there was our new bhakta with all those Lakshmi bags in the hand, like this, he was going, hey, this is great, I want to go on Sankirtan forever. This is nice, you can tease the police, you can just do some work, and he became a Sankirtan devotee. Just for having that fun, cheating police. He said, this was very nice. This was that kind of people who were joining. It's not exactly the purpose of our mission to teach police, but he thought this was a very interesting aspect of the mission. It was very inspiring to him, and he became a very good Sankirtan. So nowadays we have more this kind of, I saw on the internet, it's very nice. What should I do? And you say, well, you have to chant Hare Krishna. And he goes, can you bring me the bead bag? Oh, but I still smoke hashish. And you go, that's not so good. It's also vegetarian, but it's not so, And then they go, yeah, but I like to do that. Can I also chant and smoke hashish? And then, no, it's not so good. Not so good. And before you explain, it's only half a year gone, And then, then maybe you will just come and he will wash a pot. I'm doing pure devotional service. Absolute nonsense. So it's like, nowadays we are very in a slow motion. Therefore I spoke with Manidhara Prabhu, he sees it everywhere he goes. He said, what happened? This is not bhaktas, this is vegetable. Salad is like, I don't want to offend any vegetable, but it's not very active in itself. It's not like one salad is, you cannot put salad in Sankirtan. It's just growing. And that's it. And then, and he said, I see it everywhere. This kind of, he said, what happened? And we both agreed, yes, we are praying to the external energy of the Lord, to Maya. Maya means also mercy. We need a really good kick. Where it comes, if it's in the back part of our body or in the face, we don't care. But we need a really good kick. I would suggest some little tsunami or something like that. So people wake up. All these Danes sitting there on the beach, Tsunami for Denmark is a very effective thing, I think it's quite flat and can go pretty far. And all these little settlements, Dansk, with this Dansk flag, it's all, if you ever saw tsunami, walking around, it's pretty effective. There's nothing left after this. And even worse, it's the cleanup after this. That's the worst. Fire is kind of hygienic, it burns away, there's nothing to clean up, it's just burned down. But tsunami, it's flooding anything with water. Now big parts of Europe are getting heavily flooded. In Hungary and this, they never saw so much water coming into the country. And it's supposed to rain more. The earth is already so soaked, it doesn't take one drop. And they say, no water is coming. All Budapest and the Czech Republic, they are all, whole villages, they are just pushing the mud around. It doesn't have to be too high even. This much water, it messes up the whole town, The mud is incredible. I was cleaning up after several floods in our restaurant in Prague, and you cannot imagine having a restaurant flooded. We had freezers, these big freezers in a cellar where the water dashed, because it comes also from the sewage. It's not just water, it's anything you can imagine. So, it comes from below, through the piping, and it takes a good speed, It just goes like, by that time, hopefully, you are not in that room, but we have no time, we have no warning really to clean up the equipment. So we found the big freezers being jammed in the ceiling, they were hanging in the ceiling like that, by the force of the water. Great, to clean up a place like this, it takes you years. The mud, the smell, I remember still that smell was just, it's just